Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 4th of March 2025. So stocks sold off in risk-off trade as US tariffs near and disappointing US market data continues. US stocks declined amid tech selling weak data and looming tariffs. And those tariffs take effect. As you can see here, Trump locks in Canada-Mexico tariffs to launch on Tuesday. Stocks tumble. If you just move down here a bit, you will actually see tariffs to take effect from 5 o'clock this morning GMT. And other news, again, more tariffs there. Tariff chaos threatens an economy already flashing yellow. That's the US economy. And finally, S&P tumbles back below key CTA sell trigger, activating 24 billion in sell orders this week. CTA are sellers of the S&P in every scenario over the next week. Well, let's wait and see, shall we? Because that can soon change with the prospect of a cut in interest rates and any other news. No economic news today as we head into the non-farm payrolls for this week, which obviously is preempted by the ADP numbers out tomorrow. We'll look at that in more detail. And Trump is speaking, but that's at 2 a.m. So we'll allow that one as it's Tuesday. So early hours, Trump is going to be speaking as well. Right, let's have a look at the markets. Fascinating day, and kick off with the Dow. So yesterday things were moving up in the morning, but it took a turn for the worse. So as soon as the cash market opened, maybe the 24 billion in CTA orders is affecting the markets, but the Dow certainly finishing on the lows yesterday and now trying to bounce back. The market has retraced as well from this point to here, 62%, which you can see there as well yesterday. And not much selling around. It was just a case of marking the market down. And there you can see yesterday afternoon tariffs and all the rest of it. Market selling off quite sharply there. That's over 1,000 points if I'm not mistaken. So if we go to the high and then down to here, we've got 1,128 points for the Dow yesterday. Big range, massive range that. And you can see there close is where the market's currently trading. So yeah, big moves in the Dow and the same for the DAX as well. Let's have a look at that. So in yesterday morning's alert, I spoke about the all-time high being broken, but wow, I said by the end of the week, and although I did clarify that and say it could do it by the end of the day, but what a massive move yesterday. 788 points this move is. But one thing that's interesting about this, it's also a catalyst for sometimes for the market topping out. The only reservation I would have is that the volume isn't big enough for this. Market came off the high that it made yesterday, so we can scrap this high and put in a new one. Now, with all of the talk of tariffs and everything else and everything going pear-shaped, and now Trump has said that he's not going to, he's pulling out of funding Ukraine temporarily as well, is going to have a negative impact. So it'll be interesting to see how far this market goes back to the upside today. And there's a way of doing that. If you get a fib retracement, and then I'm just going to click twice on the top there, and it will actually take the retracement of the high, because there's no high or low to sort of to project to the upside, unless you're using a fib extension, which this software doesn't have. So at the moment, the market's trading there up to 62% or finding support. And you just want to watch the 89 there, and then of course the all-time high of prices do continue to move higher today. Of course, this is some sort of I think it was oh gosh, I can see him, I can't think of his name, the old Fed chairman, he was there for 30 odd years, can't think of it, it doesn't matter anyway, but irrational exuberance was the term that he coined. And there you can see that's more likely to be the case yesterday following the weekend with Stasi and his crew in Downing Street, as they were discussing how much they're all going to give to Ukraine in loans. Makes a change, all the rest are being gifts, but we won't be getting the loans back either. But anyway, let's not get too political about not being able to keep pensioners warm and that sort of thing. That would be a terrible thing, that would. We'll just hand over the money to an endless war that's being perpetuated by the deep state. But like I say, let's not get political, shall we? The 13-minute chart, what you can see, was just launched and it never stopped. until we got to the afternoon, and then we traded sideways and then came down a bit. The only reason it stopped, if the Dow would have gone up 1,000 points yesterday, this would have continued to put on 1,000 points as well. And overnight prices are trying to find support at the DP and move higher there, but at the moment just trading sideways. So I will be fascinated to see what this is going to do today, based upon this was as a result of Stasi and his mob. So let's see what happens today. So in the S&P 500, very similar to the Dow, very difficult market at the moment for this, because obviously it's the Nvidia case as well, where they're not making as much money. China's got the deep seek AI as well, so a bit of a struggle here, but we have got some stopping volume down here, and the lines have crossed, but not moving to the upside just yet. We'll just have to wait and see when it does now with the tariffs as well coming out. There you can see the drop exactly the same, and overnight we're still sitting at the close for this one. Let's see how Rachel at accounts is getting on, and you'll see that the market managed to move up, but then sold off. Didn't move as much as the German DAX. Out of curiosity, let's just have a look, see where it did move. I think there's a reality check now that Stasi's giving money away for the military and everything else, but nothing for the people at home. 178, decent move for the FT, that is. So the market sideways to high. You can see the stopping volume coming in there, and then prices struggling with the 50 EMA, the close, and the DP there at the time of recording. In the US dollar yesterday, well, straight down, might get a bit more of a movement to the downside today as well. But let's have a look at the impact on the metals with today's tariffs. And starting off with silver, well, Mexico are part of the unfortunate country or one of the unfortunate countries that's going to receive a 25% tariff. The biggest import from Mexico, apart from drugs, is silver. So let's see if silver puts on 25% today, shall we? I very much doubt it. Of course, that's tongue-in-cheek on my part, because there's not a cat in hell's chance of that happening. They will be in the futures market today, selling as much as they can to try and hold the price back. But in theory, but not in practice, the silver price should go up by 25% to take care of those import prices, but it won't. So goodness knows how the Mexican mining companies and all the rest of it are going to actually stay in business when they're doing these sorts of tricks. So yeah, let's wait and see. It might have an update, but it won't be 25%, that's for sure. 30-minute chart, yesterday you see prices being allowed to move up for a while, and then overnight already starting to be pressured back to the downside. So don't be surprised if we end up sailing to the downside and doing completely the opposite of what it should be doing. Meanwhile, in gold, finding some support. We got the stopping volume. We're oversold and just trying to cross there with the stochastics, and we're also in an area of support as well, down by the 50 EMA, the 89 and the 78% retracement as well. And there you can see the market consolidating overnight as well. Expect more downside pressure on this market too, despite the tariffs and the fact, as I say, that silver from Mexico is one of the biggest imports into the US. So unless, of course, in the fine print, it may be exempt. So keep that one in mind as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll have a look around today, and I bet you the silver has been exempt from the 25% tariff. That's how they'll get around keeping the price down as far as silver is concerned. And in the gold-silver ratio, bit of a reprieve at the moment, as you can see there, down for the last 2 days, and overnight there's a bit of relief there with silver being allowed to move up. But don't hold your breath. The 96 for me is still on the cards for this market. They'll find some way of bringing it back and doing precisely that, sending it up to that 96 level. That I have no doubts about. Okay, let's have a look at the DAX for yesterday. And in the pre-market session, which is in grey, you can see the market already spiking to the upside. We spoke about this when I was recording the alert yesterday morning. This was followed by the market retracing back down towards the high, and then waiting for the cash market to open. And the cash market took off like a rocket. It then came back, found a bit of support, had another sell-off down to the close. You can see the stopping volume coming in there. and then prices retest, which is what they do, and then move back up, and then we come back, and there we go, we get the retest back at the high. Let's not try and break the high, chaps. Keep the high intact, the low and the high, keep them moving, and then off we go. Market then just sailed all the way up 100, 150 points, 200 points before it ran out of steam, and you can see there all the way up. Beautiful trend yesterday, and then the market having a bit of a break before it then tried to move higher and succeeded in doing so. And then this burst of activity here when the Dow futures kicked in just sent the market. I couldn't find any news related to this, and you can see there between there and there you've got 100, 200, 300 points. It just came out of the blue once more. So mission accomplished. And then of course we move over to the US, and just before the US we have another rally, another 150 points. The market goes up after breaking out of the sideways move, and then a quick trade to the upside, and then the market just drifting to the downside, and then drifting into a bit of a sideways range as it traded into the early part of the evening there. So currently the market is sitting at the DP, and you can see that support there. It's in order to move higher, it's got a fair bit to pile on, as I've mentioned already earlier. It's 100 there, 200, 300, 300 points away. Is it possible? Absolutely, of course it is. Look at yesterday. All you need is a bit of PR and plenty of money printing, and that sends the markets to the upside. And printing it for war, well, it's a double whammy. You can't beat it. That's how you keep the stock markets afloat. Print for war, and somebody will get the contracts to actually rebuild these countries. That's what it's all about. So yeah, the overnight market's fairly stable at the moment as well. May get a bit of a pullback to begin with, bit of reality check after yesterday. It needs a bit of a breather, but other than that, there's nothing to stop the market from moving to the upside. Okay, that's it for this one. It's going to be an interesting day, first day of Trump's tariffs, and let's see what happens. So have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.